So before I post whatever it is I'm going to post today, I wanted to show and share my thought process on the idea I had for today, and probably more to come moving forward. And that was the idea for this whole daily thing anyway, was to share these thoughts, but it ended up being where I couldn't talk about literally everything that I had ideas for and the process. So I sound like a broken record, but yeah, that was the idea at first. And doing it in 60 seconds, I tried to stay committed to that because I didn't want to take up too much of people's time, just to show off my skills and try to get better at it as time went on. So now that I got a little bit more time, you all can hear that I stutter quite a bit and forget what I'm supposed to say. So I flipped this paper over just now because I always had these daily things in a portrait style, and for the one I want to do today, I'm gonna have to do it in landscape. I don't have to, but I think it's gonna look better that way for this idea. And the reason why I even mentioned that is because this portrait style was also a thing that was supposed to be consistent and not changing in this daily thing. So I had to break away from that a little bit just to get this out, get these words out, and get the original idea up in the air a little bit more, because it's the original idea, so why wouldn't I? I'm still going to do the daily minute post thing and talk about it there as well, but this might be like a back catalog type of thing where if anyone who's interested wants to hear me and look at this process that goes through my mind, then it'll be here. And I might want to look at it myself too. So this one's much, much longer, and now I can start to talk about what I wanted to talk about. So this is going to be the first that's in landscape style. If there's another word for it, I wish somebody would tell me. But here's the idea. If anyone who saw my my story post on TikTok, there was a hint. I was going to say there was hints, but there was a hint to the title of what I want this one to be. That's another thing too. I didn't have enough time to title those pieces that I had in the past. So the title of this one is going to be Of Brain and Bone and Blood. So the idea is to basically have a brain here, a bone here, and a heart over here. But there's going to be a guy or girl here holding these two, well, actually holding these three things. This one would be in his mouth, and it's going to be breaking. Brain over here, heart over here, but it's going to be blood, and I don't think I can do blood on TikTok or anywhere really, but it's a pencil. It'll get the idea across. So that's the idea. And the reason why I picked up this phone was because I was sitting, and I think I showed it maybe before. I had the pencils like this because I wanted there to be some sort of other separation between these three things, some sort of breakage to really emphasize the cracks in the bones, which I think this would be like a reality type of thing. The world of reality, the world of dreams, well, actually the world of dreams, and then the world of something else. I don't know. What would the brain be? Also, I thought a lot about making it a skull, which actually spawned the idea for a bone over here. But the skull idea, and I wanted to get this out too, was because I was pondering whether or not a skull meant or represented wisdom, which I think it does, but I feel like a lot of people would say that a brain does too. But more so, I think the brain would represent smarts and not necessarily wisdom, if that makes sense. And I know a lot of people argue that a skull would represent death too, and in a way, I feel like people who are just of mind sort of live in that world. And if you don't have, dreams on this side, things you really believe in your heart, you're stuck over here in what would be the skull representation, which would be the world of death. But I'm not trying to make it a death thing on this side. I wanted to be more wisdom. And then, of course, this one just sticking with reality, sort of a mix between the two. So I had these pencils here, splitting these off, showing that these three are connected, but bringing pain to whoever this person is, and this could be all of us. So that was the idea of Brain and Bone and Blood, and it is quite the change up from what I usually do, mainly because of this. I'm not used to these rings over here on this side. But yeah, I thought about it too long, and because of that, I thought I should record it, share it to someone who maybe wants to hear it. So that's it. Thank you for your time.